chat. Okay, now we're live. I am live. Thanks, Max. How are you doing? I am sleepy, but I am here. Hello to anyone who is around. I see a flapjack. Someone subbed to me, and I got the notification, but I didn't get a chance to see. So whoever subbed to me just now, or followed me on Twitch, thank you. It has been a bit. Let me check my... That's why I'm opening up Twitch, and that's why there was noise a second ago. Trying to figure out who just subbed to me, so I can thank them. Hi Theo. Hi Flapjack. How are you? This is a weird stream time for me. I'm usually used to doing it late at night, UK time. How are you? Also, Max says, I'm good. Waiting for groceries to arrive. Oh, nice. Wow. A nice big grocery order is good. Gotta do my shopping about next week or so. I'm due to do some shopping, grocery shopping, so okay. Whoever followed my Twitch, thank you. I can't find out who it was, or I haven't done it in a while, but I appreciate it. Yeah, morning streams be weird like that. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm doing well. Hope you've been doing good as well. I've been alright actually, yeah. Mostly focused on game dev and health stuff. I've taken a bit of a break from streaming so I could focus on game dev, but also because the last stream I had, trying to figure out what happened, but I did speak to a doctor about it, and I did have epilepsy kind of reaction to a flashing light that was in the corner of my room, triggered by my watch. It's a very specific thing, and it led to a migraine, which led to something else happening, led me to the hospital. It's been a whole ordeal, but I'm okay. I know I can deal with flashing lights. It was just a very specific type of flashing light that I stared at way too long while I was on stream. Also, streaming immediately after work was not an ideal thing to do. If I'm gonna be coming back to streaming soon, because it's kind of fun. But also, yeah, I've been winding down, but focusing on the more important stuff right now, which is game dev. And yeah, outside of that, just been playing on the Switch 2 for a fair decent time. That sounds rough. Yeah, I'm okay. I think at least now I know what can be potentially dangerous to me. I think that's just a thing that happens, because when I was talking to my dad about it, he said that like did my dad say? He said it's hereditary, the flashing lights thing, because he said that it happened to him at his age, and my other uncles and aunts had that, so it's a normal thing. However, they say they call it a visual migraine, but I was like, this is where my dad's a bit. I'm not really sure how to describe it. Basically, it was like, damn. He said you just gotta watch certain things. He said that his cause was particular foods, but I'm like, I don't believe that. If something happens to your eyes because you were looking at flashing images And if I have to take a guess with my family's history, my dad was probably watching TV when he got his visual migraines, so I genuinely believe he just does not realize what triggers it. Same with my grandmother, same with my aunt and my uncle. Yeah, that sounds rough. Yeah, you best be looking after yourself, or I'm gonna throw you off the roof. Well, I wouldn't be looking after myself if you throw me off the roof, though. But I appreciate the meaning behind those words. I'm just chatting for a bit, taking it easy. I say that I didn't get much sleep, but should be alright for this stream at the very least. I'd like to go back to streaming games though. But yeah, I gotta be careful. I gotta make sure and take extra steps. But yeah. All that aside, yes. Game dev. This is gonna be a short one. I don't know. Let me check something. Very, very rarely I can get temporary vision lost with my migraines. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry to hear though. That's I mean, yeah, if it happens very rarely, that's probably a good sign. I've never had it before, and I think that just kind of thing that comes with the territory when you're like getting older. I'm in my 30s. That kind of should be a thing I've learned to accept. Oh, I got an alert. Where's my alert? Oh, paved streamer. Thank you for. Oh my god, thanks for the sub. Nice to see you again, Theo. I hope you've been well. I'm here from a moving vehicle in a foreign country, so I might suddenly disconnect, but I'm glad you've been looking after yourself. Oh, thank you. For some reason, no, I'm not going blind. My Twitch chat is like very blurry for some reason. Same with my stream information on my OBS. Has that ever happened? Okay, I can read your text a bit. But yeah, like, okay, so it's not my eyes going weird. It's because like I'm looking at the YouTube chat where Flapjack is, and I can read the text perfectly fine. But for you, let me try something. I want to show this. This is what's happening to my chat right now. For a comparison, here's like the YouTube chat. I was talking about vision, and then this happened. I was like, "Oh my god, am I going insane?" So my Twitch chat is being very, very strange. But I will, if I reshape the box, it kind of fixes briefly. "144p experience be real." It totally is. Why is that happening? It's text, right? Am I like? Oh, that's a thing I want to Google. Anyway, let me read your message again. Nice to see you again, Theo. I hope you've been well. I'm here from a moving vehicle in a foreign country, so I might suddenly disconnect. But I'm glad you've been looking after yourself. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been doing well. Just saying, I've been mostly on the recovery and focusing on game dev and winding down. But I'll be back to streaming soon. Partly because you subbed, but also because I want to make sure. Why is that? Where is my alert? Sorry, my alert box is missing. I don't. I'll sort that out another time, but I don't have chat in OBS, so I can't help you there, I'm afraid. No, it's alright. I'm more like, it's not like an entire issue, because all I need to do is hover over it, but this is a very strange thing that happened. Is my stream quality okay, though? I haven't really, outside of obviously, like, if you're in a moving vehicle, like, I think I've solved my streaming quality problems, because I used to have disconnects. I'm mostly chatting just to see if anyone else pops in before I begin, but again, this is going to be quite a short one, so I'll probably be until 11-ish. So blurry. Thanks. Image looks clear to me. That's fine. I'll roll with that. I have no idea why that's happening, but that's fine. I can always play around with settings later. Once I figure out proper plannings. And also wanted in the middle of trying to make videos, like videos for YouTube. Because I think that's the only other way you can actually build an outreach, is that you have to make videos. Well, I guess you can make like clipping compilations or whatnot, but I think for me, just making high quality video essays about things I like, I have a lot of those in plan, and I have a lot of those scripts to write. And then obviously I have to do the recording and all that editing, but yeah, stream quality is good. Okay, we're gonna begin. I don't know. I think people have seen the old version of the game where you walk around. I am making an RPG, basically. It is a kind of, well, I want to say it's a prequel, but if it's the first one, it's going to be the first game, isn't it? But to me, that's the game that the actual game I want to make. I'm at that stage where my game dev skills is up to the point where I can actually make the game of my dreams. And so this game, which is going to be a prequel, will be kind of like my testing ground. I'm going to make this smaller game and try to go from there to make the much better game. So the experience and messiness of this game will be cleaned up and polished by the game after, if that makes sense. Game is, let's see, play with my control. I wanted to do more. Oh, whoops! Me picking up. I wanted to do more fun, visually presentable stuff for the stream, but I realized that like I will do that by next stream. By next stream, there will be tile sets and there'll be things you can walk around in. But yeah, as everyone knew, I had a walking thing, I had a running. I don't know if I actually showed off running. And this is being with the controller, and I showed off the pool screen, which is entirely custom made. Well, everything's custom made when I think about it, but like, yeah, so I haven't done any more things for that. The main focus of the game will be the combat. I've been playing around with a little text box, so I showed this off last time, but basically the whole point of this little bit was that I now know how to implement cutscenes at ease without overcomplicating things. Spinning the character around, doing a camera shake. And yeah, but since then I changed the text box, and the text box will bump up when you click on a thing instead of just popping into existence. I was gonna have it hide at the end, but I couldn't figure out how to do it properly, so that'll be on a later date. But yeah, we're here to show off the combat, which is the key main point of how can I That's the example of a boss fight, but I'll show that in a second. I accidentally walked into it. I got basically my point was that I showed that there's an enemy and it will follow me if I enter within a specific circle. It has a default speed, so what I'm going to do is code it so that the enemy will walk in random directions, and when they see you, they will speed up and start chasing at you full speed. Because right now I could just run around him, which is kind of fun. But yeah, and when you encounter him, the game freezes, and we are in a battle. Now I've shown the battle before to some extent. I haven't shown how much nicer. I guess nicer is the right word. I don't know. You have to be the judge for that. Yeah, so I showed off items where you can select different items. You can have a maximum of 20. When the enemy attacks, their powers I haven't implemented yet. But when I hit defend, little animation, and the enemy attacks, sort of like an Undertale kind of way. I've coded the fireballs to instantly kill the player, so if the player like walks into it, they'll die. But if I hit X, like I do with Magician's Thief, the 2D platformer I made, I've re-implemented dashing to be used here. And this is what happens when you die. There will be a text prompt and you have to click yes or no and then, you know, all that stuff. But for now, that's just a temporary thing. So I can go back and do this. But yeah. Oh, and yeah, the background changes color when the enemy attacks. The actual background is using 2 images layered on each other with a shader that kind of creates this weird wobbly effect. I'm not going to take credit for the wobbly effect. It's literally a YouTube video. I will credit that person properly, but like, yeah, it's basically using a shader that kind of changes how it moves. A thing that I can do with this shader, let me go into the battle. I'll show you real quick. Is that if I go into battle scene, trying to remember where I put it. Probably is in the battle scene. Is it the battle scene? Yes, it's in the battle scene. Player stats, enemies, battle background. Yes, it has its own thing. And yeah, so battle background uses a shader, and this shader we'll turn off one of them, and this is what it actually looks like. And this means I can do things like this, or if I wanted to, I could literally just do this for like the first fight, and as the game progresses, do more funky stuff. They're using a singular image here, which I got from a website that generates patterns via CSS, which I then downloaded as an image. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to do is, yeah, I created a color rectangle. No, an overlay, sorry. And this overlay will change color as I want. So, you know, basically it's a grayscale image with a color overlaid. I may change this though, because as much as I like having full control over this overlay thing, one of the core problems is if I wanted to mix and match different colors, I can't because I'm using one. Or I could do all sorts of things. I guess that's one of the key things I wanted to do when making this, was that I wanted it to be very easy and visually stunning to do. Because again, I'm one person, and one of the things I've learned over my years of being a game developer is that doing everything by myself. 1 second. No, there's like... Yeah, no, they, Sorry, there was like a crowd of people running by, screaming stuff. Runners. Anyway, what was I saying? Sorry, my stream might be severely delayed. Give me a second, I'm gonna... Did that come through the mic? I don't know. Sorry, there was, there are protests happening outside. I can't say where. It's in the UK. And it's for good reason. But yeah. Back to game dev. Very briefly. Yeah, it's because I hit audio mute instead of mic mute. It's fine, it's not really... Whatever's happening out there isn't going to dox me. It's just one of those, because it's happening all over the UK, but there's a lot of protests happening. But well, let's focus on the game. I'm curious, one second. Okay, it's gone now, but yeah. Sorry, my stream might be severely delayed, but I like all the animation and special effects. Thank you. My focus is to get this like working and streamline it as much as possible. What was I saying a moment ago? Was something to do with like... Oh yeah, I was yeah. The idea or my process to making this game is, okay, I don't want to be making 100 different backgrounds. I need to streamline this in a way that becomes nice and simple. Lazy isn't the right word. It's more like, oh, I don't have time to be focusing all my efforts into doing backgrounds, so let's use some shader tricks, add some visual effects, and let's Earthbound this shit, basically. I looked at Earthbound, and it does similar things. Actually, Earthbound uses 6 different effects for its backgrounds, and the one I'm showing is actually one of them. Not the same, like, way as it does, because obviously that's an NES game, and sorry, Super Nintendo game, and this is a Godot game, so it's a lot easier. Basically, I'm replicating one of the 6 effects. Will I need the other effects? I don't know yet. So, but yeah, that's the whole thing about this background, is that I use, yeah, this shader, which I was gonna say you can actually set the speed. So if I set it to 5, it moves faster. And if I set it to 100, okay, that's bad. But yeah. A friend was like asking if I could do all sorts of cool things, like shake it when I don't know, when the player gets hit or player hits, but it's a bit more complicated at the moment to figure it out, because GD shader, it uses its own kind of coding. It's not entirely difficult. It's just that it doesn't. I need to actually sit down and buckle down and figure out how to actually code it or understand what I'm actually doing. So yeah. Changing the speed of it is fine. The problem is that anytime you change the speed, it resets the texture's position to how it was originally. So if I was in game and I suddenly did this, and when the player gets hit, there's that like jerky animation for like a second, and that's a problem I need to figure out. Or not. I don't really think it's necessary in the game. I think the fact that I can even change the color to red when the enemy attacks is a good enough visual cue to get my point across. So, where's battle scene? Turn that off. Right. Other things. Yeah. And yeah, obviously, as I showed before, when I defend, background turns red, enemy attacks. I've done. Well, also there's little animations, so when the box opening or like tweening out, like that, opening and closing. I think it closes. Yeah, it does close. Though I did that entirely in pure animation as opposed to doing some motion tween to achieve that. But yeah, powers will work similarly to attack. Anyway, let me show you an attack. So I hit attack, and I can select the enemy. And if I miss, it misses. And if I hit the purple bar, it does 2 damage. If I hit the yellow, it does 4 damage. Oh well, I hit the eye, it does 6 damage. Lucky hit there. Again, and then it says I've won when I defeated the enemy. So yeah, I've done that. I've also coded it so you can fight multiple enemies, though I haven't done it. How am I doing that? I can only do that with the controller for some reason. I could do like moonwalking. You have to actually... Okay. Anyway, yes. Moonwalking aside. I haven't coded attacks based on how many enemies you got so far. I only have one basic attack that's just repetitive. But the idea is that the enemies will... Basically, I check a database. And it will select the type of attack. Obviously, there's going to be a few more checks. But, like, for example, if I go into the battle scene again... Actually, I have only just started this morning, which is there's going to be a text box. At the top says text to describe enemy mood, attack, and player actions. You know, to add a bit more interactivity. Yeah, I was trying to, like... I've been studying a bunch of games. I studied Earthbound, I studied, well, Mother Free, and Deltarune. Also, Mario and Luigi RPG, because I think... I don't remember Toby Fox references this game, but I'm pretty sure that's where Deltarune's whole battle system comes from. Let me Google this. I wanna fact check this. Toby Fox, Mario and Luigi. Okay, he has cited... Okay, that goes far back. Mario Luigi as an inspiration for Undertale's battle system. That makes a lot of sense. I was trying to think about this. Like, Deltarune is very Mario and Luigi adjacent, and Mario and Luigi, the RPG series, is genuinely one of my favorite RPG series ever. My favorite RPG is Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. One of the best games I've ever played. But yeah, I'm waffling. I'm saying that, like, I was studying that game and I was like trying to figure out what can I do differently or what can I add to it, because yeah, it'd be easy to say that I'm making an Undertale clone, and that's kind of true, but obviously I'm not doing the aspect where you spare enemies or befriend them. It's that the battle system is the backdrop to the story I'm trying to tell. Waffles are delicious, so keep them up. Thank you. I do want a waffle now, though. But yeah, Yeah, the about what was I thinking? I'm trying to think of so yeah, I was making notes down and I was thinking about how, okay, what can I do differently? Uh, or when I was doing things, I was like, why don't Toby Fox just do this or that or this? And then I learned the hard way. Oh, right, that's why he did it. And it's really funny when you're making a game and you think, why hasn't he tried this? Or why hasn't someone tried that? And you try and you're like, okay, that's why. I haven't implemented about this one, so I can show you what it's like when you knock out an enemy. I haven't implemented powers, but when you use a power, it will do like a mini game, something similar to the normal attack. The problem, I wouldn't say it's a problem. Like I think I talked about this on an older stream, but like the thing you need to realize, well, I need to realize, or I had to realize, is that like players are fine hitting attack and doing that a bunch of times because it's fast, short, and straight to the point. And the enemy attacks are short, so it doesn't feel too long, and the amount of damage you're doing is fine. Yeah, ignore the fact that the enemies are on top of it. Again, I haven't coded an attack with 3 enemies yet. As you can see, there's a static enemy in purple. That's going to be in a completely different creature by the time. If you're wondering, in the code, the red creature is called Clive. And the reason I called him Clive was because it's easier to remember specific code names and enemies just by that name. So if I say Clive, I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. That's the red guy, and I know where to find him in the code and in the game. So, but yeah, when I implement powers and whatnot, they have to be. I'm gonna probably look at games like Mario and Luigi is definitely probably the better game to look at for attacks, because that has a lot of mini games that are that short, but they feel satisfying to pull off, I guess. But as I mentioned before, I think the game I thought about a lot is the game Yik, an RPG, the postmodern RPG game. I don't care about the story. I think everyone has talked to hell and back about that one. I'm more focused on the gameplay aspect, which is that the game makes you do mini games that take so long, and the fights are so long that you end up boring the players. Now, it's the mini games and what you do isn't really the problem. It's the fact that if you spend too much time making them do something over and over again, they eventually get sick of it and they get fed up with it. So the idea of the powers thing is that I was thinking about this because I was looking at Deltarune and I was like, let me look at how they do special attacks. And when they do special attacks, they're just kind of special attacks. Because a lot of that game is involving using actions as opposed to actually doing things. So you are still doing mini games, but like when you use Susie's Rude Buster or Rousey's Pacify, it's literally just an attack with a text box, and that's it. And that's because you want to just jump straight into it. And yeah, I don't know. That game is very, very well thought out, is what I'm saying. But if you moving back, if you knock out the enemy, I reposition them all. The game has a current maximum of 4 enemies in a battle scene. I really doubt I'm gonna have 4 enemies on a screen unless I do like a boss fight or something. But the idea is I died again because of the dash. Oops. That dash is pretty useful, but pretty bad when it comes to dealing with enemies. I don't know why I'm redoing this fight. I guess I wanted to showcase how like the little details, like for me when I did the whenever I had to do checks, like, oh, if enemy 3 is defeated but enemy 2 and 1 is okay, where do they go? I had to write that. I had to like code every single possibility and reposition them. There is probably an easy way to do it, but I already done it, so I'm not going to be touching that code ever again. But yeah, if you take this guy out, both enemies will move in. What I will also do is there's going to be RNG checks, I think. Like, oh, I'm going to be checking if the enemy attacks with... It's... Basically, I got a database with a list of enemy IDs, and that enemy ID loads in the enemies. Because you're only going to fight these enemies once, and... This is a thing I never see, I guess, videos talk about it much when it comes to Undertale or Deltarune, is that game doesn't have a level progression system. And to me, that always told me that Toby did not want to code that. And the one time he does, which is Undertale's genocide route, he deliberately has a set number of enemies, so your level goes up to a certain point if you kill X amount of enemies. So yeah, that's the... I always found that fascinating. Like, he actively avoided wanting to incorporate leveling up system, partly because it gets pretty broken real fast if you level up enough to just breeze through the game. So I was planning to not do that anyway. The idea is that you get items and equipment that you can put on to change things up. And we talked about this in the previous stream, but like one of the ideas I had was I said I wouldn't add sparing, but the only time I'm going to use a sparing system would be with the bosses. It'd be a sort of like a Bioshock situation with the what's their names? The little girls with the big daddies. Those things where when you do get one of them, you could choose to absorb them or set them free. And if you set them free, that leads to the good ending. And if you absorb them, the little sisters, that's what they're called, right? Yeah. If you absorb them, yeah, you get stronger. But if you let them go, the game is harder, but you will be achieving a true ending. And my idea is that there's this empty space here, 1, 2, 3, and each time you beat a boss, you can absorb them and use them as like a party member, essentially, as you progress through the game. Obviously, that makes the game easier, but the true ending would be that you don't do that at all. And the ending isn't gonna... It's not gonna be like a drastically different ending. It's gonna be 2 simple endings. I'll have to account for a kind of a middle ending if you absorb a couple of them and you spare the others, but like, yeah, that was the idea. Oh, I'm still tired. Waking up is not my strong suit today for some reason, even though I'm used to doing that. 1, 2. Yeah, the reason the enemy isn't disappearing here is because this is enemy free, and the code only works on enemy 1. When you do the attack, it looks for enemy 1 and then hides that. Yeah. Let's ignore that, and I'll show you the boss. The boss hasn't got any attacks. It's got the like same thing. The color background doesn't change because you are fighting a boss and it's going to be red. Well, actually, it's going to change color depending on the boss, so I might change the color so it's in reverse. So the boss is in red because you are attacking the boss and the boss is the one fighting you. I know that sounds a bit silly, but like, go with it thematically, you were approaching this boss to kill it, and the boss is defending itself, versus like enemies that ran at you picking a fight. So I could have it so the background changes blue or something. But yeah, I can set a speed, and I'll probably do. Oh yeah, this is using a different pattern. That's why That was the point of this particular thing. Yeah, it doesn't do anything there at the moment, but I like the little effect, the moving effects. So that was my favorite part that I implemented. I can probably delete this really quickly, and then I don't know if there's any other questions. I think this is it for what I've got. A lot of it is polishing and cleaning up the battle system, because once I get the battle system in place, the actual thing would be that I focus on building the story and the first world. The game's gonna have 4 worlds, and then when that's over, but the demo will be 1 world, I think. I'm not sure where to go with it yet. We're going to see. I'm gonna approach this much differently than Magician's Thief. Magician's Thief, I wanted to work on it more, but I realized I wouldn't get that done for another 2 to 3 years. So, whereas this game, I checked and I calculated. I'm like, okay, this is gonna take me a year at best to get this done. I genuinely think. If I focus all my time in it, that's kind of the dilemma with oh, I want to stream but I can't stream. I want to focus on game dev. That's why I did some game dev streams before I wrapped up. But yeah, I think that'll be it for now. I got like 15 minutes, so I'm here to vibe and chat. So if you have any questions, that's all good. Otherwise, yeah, I'll be focused on making some. I'll be working on this some more. I still hold by the rule that I won't work on game dev on a Sunday or late afternoon, because that's my time off. I spend it when I visit my grandmother and my dad, and I stay at my dad's for a night, and then yeah, looks like you're doing grand work to me. Thank you, Max. It means a lot. I hope that this will. I'm going to be studying a lot of horror games, is what I'm also going to do, because this game, I think that like my plan is that this game is more akin to being like, at least the story in my head, similar to a Humaniki and aesthetically similar to like an Eve. The game IB RPG. I'm probably not going to lean into being scary, because I do want people to play and engage with the combat and the game itself. But I do want to tell a very surreal, creepy story. That touches on some dark topics, but yeah, the actual main game after that would not be on that level of dark, because it's the idea for that game would be more Earthbound aesthetic, like more Earthboundy, you exploring and traveling around. So that will be a fun little project to do at some point in the future. Basically, the idea is I make this game, I secure funding for the next game, or I release a demo, do a Kickstarter and all that, but I doubt I can get that level of attention. I do know ways to get attention to a mainstream audience. I will just need the time, money, and budget to do that. But I'm saving up for a lot of things. But yeah, that's one thing. Oh, there's a little visual bug there. If you look at the top of the head, there's like I don't know if it's appearing on stream, but it's literally like a 1 pixel, like half a pixel on top of the character's head when they're walking. Oh, it's gone now. The reason that's a Godot problem. I know what's causing it is because I know a fix. I shouldn't have to be the one fix it. I think Godot needs to fix this. It's just due to the way the rendering is and how pixel art works. But if I go player, it's because it's actually when the player is walking here, the it's grabbing the line at the very top and it's clipping in from the sprite above. So the solution would be quite literally is moving these sprites around so that there's an extra space. But I feel you shouldn't need to do that for every single one. But I will be doing that because that will be a common problem. That's a common problem that came up with Magician's Thief. And when I was developing that early in, I was smacking my head against the wall, being so confused. Like, why is that happening? I have a lot of workarounds for a lot of problems. But, like, as long as the game works, the visuals are nice. I think also in the idea behind this game is, like, I want to see, like, the next evolution of RPG Maker games. Like, in my head, what would a future, what would a polished up version of an RPG Maker game look like? And the answer to that is Off, because Off is getting that remake in Unity, but doing things I can't do in RPG Maker, like being able to move all directions, custom. Well, RPG Maker can do cutscenes, it does it really well. But I'm doing my own unique battle system. I say all this, but like, truth is that like you can make anything in RPG Maker. It's just a case of how much time you're willing to sink into it. And I had a game project years back that I was working on in RPG Maker for an office game. It was just kind of like a story of an office life. And to do very specific things in that, like, oh, I want to change the scenery, or I want to add customization to the office and do all this kind of weird and funky stuff with the game. I had to jump through a lot of hoops to even make that work. And the time, probably no exaggeration, the time it would take to do something simple like that literally takes 5 minutes in Godot. Or in any other engine, I guess. RPG Maker, in my opinion, is a great starting engine. And if you're able to make the best of it and make some great games out of it, that in itself is worth cheering for, or cheering on for. Plus, a lot of games wouldn't exist if it wasn't for RPG Maker. Yeah. I didn't want to dunk on RPG Maker too much. I just want to say that things just did not fit my needs and my time, so my schedule. So all right, I think that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I know the update's a bit small, and I am planning to do streaming again soon, hopefully. But I will... Yeah, I'm just gonna work really hard on this and get a demo out. Thank you for streaming. Hope the rest of the day goes well, buddy. Thank you, you too. I hope you have a lovely day. Hey, Max. Yeah. With that said, I hope you have a lovely morning, day, afternoon, evening, and night. Alright, take care, and bye-bye.